Hello everybody, and welcome to the next video in the eOPSEC 101 course, or OPSEC for Absolute Beginners. In the previous video, we went over what ProtonVPN was in detail, as well as discussed the 14 Eyes Alliance. We will go into 14 Eyes Alliance in more detail later, so if you didn't watch that in the previous video, you don't need to go back and watch it for this one. I am going to also go over how to install ProtonVPN from scratch on Debian, because it's a completely different way to do so. So you don't need to go back and watch that at any point. Everything that you need to know will be in this video for ProtonVPN if you're not using Windows. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our browser of choice. In this case, I'm using LibreWolf, and we're going to type in proton.me. You're going to see something that says a better internet starts with privacy and freedom. Take control of your data with end-to-end encryption. Now you're going to see all of these cool things that it has here: email, VPN, password manager, storage, and docs. You're going to need to create a ProtonMail email address to use the VPN, but in this case, it's basically going to be like your username and password. So we're going to click create a free account, and we're going to go to get Proton for free, and it says create your Proton account. So in the username field, I'm just going to put James Martin, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to come change this to @protonmail.com. You don't need to change that if you want proton.me. That's perfectly fine. But I do like the protonmail.com identifier better. And then in the password, we're going to put a password of our choice. It says it must have at least 8 characters, but it's better to have at least 12 characters, uppercase and lowercase letters, numbers, and symbols. So in this case, I'm going to meet all of those. I recommend that you do the same, and I'm just going to put a password that matches all of those requirements and recommendations. And we're going to click the purple button that says start using ProtonMail now. If you get a pop-up about getting Mail Plus for cheaper or whatever, click no thanks. And then it asks for an email address. So in the last video, it asked for verification in another way, but in this method, I'm just going to go ahead and verify a previous email address. It would ask for this and you don't have one for whatever reason, just make a temporary Gmail account or whatever, and then come back and put it in. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I put in the 6-digit code that it sent to my email address. If you're using the email verification method, it's going to send an email to your Gmail account or whatever you use, and then you're going to have to get the code from that and put it in. At that point, you won't ever have to interact with your Gmail account again if you don't want to. So in this case, just make a throwaway. You could use 10-minute mail, but that's something for another video. So it says set a display name, click continue. Doesn't really matter what you put there, and click maybe later, and click confirm. And now we're going to have to remember the email address that we just made, because that's going to be our username. So click through all of these, click use this, whatever else, and then where it says privacy for all your online accounts, go ahead and just click the 2 boxes at the end of your email address, because that's going to be your username for ProtonVPN. So now we have something else to do: installing the VPN itself. It's a little more complicated than Windows, but you'll get the hang of it. It's just a couple of commands. So we're going to go to this one that we've got up here, how to install ProtonVPN on Debian. Now, if you want to put in the URL yourself and want to follow along without just watching the video, you're going to put protonvpn.com/support/official Linux VPN Debian. Now, this is the Debian method, and the reason we chose this is because the vast majority of operating systems using Linux are using the Debian or another fork of Debian operating system. So that's the one that we're going to use in this video. How to install ProtonVPN on Debian. Our app officially supports the latest stable Debian version running the GNOME desktop environment. Now, it does run other desktop environments, so if you don't have GNOME or you're not sure if you have GNOME, don't worry, because this will work for all the other ones as well. It should also work with most distributions based on Debian, which is not Ubuntu Server or Raspbian, but if you're using Ubuntu Server or Raspbian and you're watching this video, you need to use a different VPN anyway, but they are not officially supported. But they do work. I just want to go ahead and point that out. So now you're going to get a few commands to run, and it'll say to install the app, open a terminal window and download the package that contains the repository configuration and keys required to install the ProtonVPN app. So now we're going to go ahead and open a terminal, and we're going to have to log into the terminal as root. So we're going to do sudo su, and we're going to put in the password for James. And now you can type this in manually if you want. I'm not going to. We're going to go ahead and copy this, go back to the terminal, and hit Control-Shift-V to paste it in. Hit enter, and it will go ahead and confirm that the keys and everything have been downloaded. Then it'll say install the ProtonVPN repository containing the app. Go ahead and do what we did last time. Copy, Control-Shift-V, and if we let it go, it will say all packages are up to date, and that's how you know it's done. Then it'll say, please don't try to check the GPG signature of this release package, which is dpackage-sig space-verify. Our internal release process is split into several parts, and the release package is signed with a GPG key, and the repo is signed with another GPG key, so the keys don't match. If you want to check the repo package integrity, you can check its checksum with the following command. So we're going to go ahead and copy that, and we're going to paste it, and then it will say that it's okay if the checksum matches. If it doesn't, then you're going to have to uninstall it, and you're going to have to start again. And then it'll say install the app. Run sudo apt install ProtonVPN GNOME desktop. We're going to go ahead and copy that, Control-Shift-V, and it'll ask if we want to install it. 41.4 megabytes of additional disk space will be used. Do you want to continue? Yes. So we'll just hit enter. And it'll go ahead and install that for us. And now we're going to move on to the Linux system tray icon. If you're using GNOME, you're going to have to do this. So if you're not sure if you're using GNOME, or you know you are, then you should go ahead and do this step as well. It's not required, but I would go ahead and do it. By default, the GNOME desktop doesn't support tray icons. To enable this functionality on Debian-based distributions, run this command. It's going to install a couple new things, but I don't even think it's a whole megabyte. And in this case, we've already got it installed, but in your case, it may say it would be like 130 kilobytes or something. Just hit enter, and it'll install it the way that we've installed everything else here. So now we should be able to go to another desktop, and we're going to hit the Windows key on our keyboard, or whatever else you have that brings up the overlay. We're going to click type to search, and we're going to type in Proton, and we now have ProtonVPN on our device. And then it'll ask you for your username and password. So we definitely don't have that in our clipboard anymore. We're going to go back to ProtonVPN, click these two boxes again, go back to ProtonVPN and put in your username, and then we're going to type in our password. That looks like my keyboard may have messed up, and we're going to hit enter to sign in. Give it a couple seconds, and it should bring up another new overlay. Now, here is the cool part about using ProtonVPN on Linux. In the Windows video, if you watch that one, I said that you could not use just any VPN you choose, because it's the free version. Kind of the same on Proton, however, it does let you choose any of the locations here, and it will tell you Japan, Netherlands, Poland, Romania, and United States. And this one will say P2P BitTorrent supported, but this one's unique with the United States where it's Tor supported. You can choose any of these. If you plan on using Tor, go ahead and use the United States one. If you're not, it's really up to you. We used the Japan one in the last video, so we're going to use the Japan one in this video as well. So we'll click connect. It'll say connecting to JP free number 3. And we now have this new icon at the top right where it says we're using ProtonVPN JP free. Ignore the one that says USA Boston. That's just my personal VPN. And now we can minimize this, go back to our browser, and we're going to type in what is my IP address. We'll go ahead and type that in, and we'll click what is my IP address. You're going to use the one that is whatismyipaddress.com. And we'll click on that, and it will now show our IPv6 address, and then our IPv4 directly underneath it. Again, as in the previous video, it's showing that the city is Osaka and the country is Japan. I'm not going to tell you where I'm from, but I will tell you that I'm not from Osaka. So we know that the VPN is now working. And that's all you have to do. It's a very set and forget method. When you restart the computer, you will have to open ProtonVPN again and click to connect to one of the servers. But until you log out or shut down your computer, You don't have to do anything with it. Just let it run in the background and it'll do all of the work for you. And that is going to be how to use ProtonVPN on Debian. In the next video, we're going to get into the paid method, which is the one that I personally use, iVPN. But that's all for this one. If you guys did enjoy, please consider leaving a like and commenting. Your engagement in any way with my videos convinces me to put out more of these in the future, and I hope you learned something new today. If you really enjoyed, please consider subscribing to the channel so you never miss any of my new videos. My name is James Martin. You guys have been amazing, and I will see you in iVPN for Windows.